Here's an interesting thing that happened to me. So, um, the Veloster needed the engine light came on, and so I didn't take it to New Jersey. And then Kelly used it, and all the brake lines exploded. So it was good that I didn't take it to New Jersey because the brake lines exploded. So then I took it to the Hyundai dealership and said, "Hey, all the brake lines are like exploded and leaking." And they said, "Oh, that's a recall."
Right
So
on.
I said, "Fucking sick." They said, "But we can't get those brake lines from Korea for the next 6 to 8 weeks." And I said,
Hmm.
"Okay, well, that sucks because I can't drive the car like this." So they gave me a rental.
No way.
So I don't think it's an upgrade, but currently I'm rolling in a Kia Forte. So
Hmm.
there's
That
From
that. That happened to me. Uh,
from the Hyundai dealership, you're in
I
a
was
Forte?
I was yeah, I went to the rental place and that's what they gave me.
Oh, okay.
There was a really nice Chrysler 300M fully loaded sitting there. And they're like, "Here's your car." I was like, "Oh, sick." But they were pointing to the small, tiny Kia Forte on the other side of the 300M.
That's probably better on fuel anyway. So
That's my biggest concern for sure. The fuel consumption
yeah.
of the Forte. So the interesting phenomenon with the Forte is though that so in Durham region, when I drive my brown pickup truck, I will often see other landscapers and other landscape contractors' trucks. And although mine has no logos or anything on it, everyone knows it's my truck. And I'll wave at them and they will look at me and they will wave back because they will recognize the truck and they'll see it. So now I'm driving this Forte that no one knows I have because it's not even the Veloster. And I will see even my wife driving by me in her pickup truck. And I will start waving incessantly. And they will just stare at me like, "Who's the fucking weird loser in the Forte waving at me?" Because they have no idea who I am. So now I stopped waving at people, but now it's awkward because I drive by them and I'm like, what if they recognize me and I'm not waving? It's a lot of pressure driving this Forte. This Forte is creating shit in my life. Another level of pressure. I'm just saying. You guys don't know what it's like to have to drive a Forte.
No, you're right. You're right. I think I'm due for an upgrade soon
What, from your truck?
from my Ram, yeah.
Why?
The transmission is doing something, and I feel like if I can unload it, I'll be better off than I would be if I had to buy a new transmission. What's the new
Get it?
transmission cost?
How many kilometers are on?
140,000.
It's only under warranty to a buck 60. So you should
Is
probably,
it really?
yeah, you should take it in and tell them it's fucking up. Maybe they'll give you a new one and a rental Kia.
From the Ram dealer?
Well, it's an American dealer, so the chances are very slim that you would get a rental car. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like thinking to myself, realistically, for the value of the Veloster versus the epic cost of 8, possibly 10, maybe 3 months in this rental Kia, would it not have been better for the dealership to just say to me, "Let's buy the Veloster off you and crush it"?
Or they could have sold you something new.
I
Like, where's their salesmanship? I
don't
feel
know.
like they could have put you in something new, like a new Veloster.
Well, no, but they do make this thing called the Santa Cruz that's like half
Yeah,
car, half
half
pickup truck.
car. Yeah.
And if someone had come to me and said, "Listen, your Veloster's fucked. We don't want to invest $1,000 a week in a rental car for the next 8 to 10 weeks for your $6,000 Veloster," because that makes no fucking sense. What if the brake lines from Korea get delayed? I could be driving this Veloster for 15 weeks or 16 weeks. We are talking about driving this car, this Forte, easily past the value of the Veloster. To me, they would have been better to come and say, "We're going to buy the Veloster off you and pick out a new car and buy that one." You're right. Like that would seem reasonable to me. And I went to the dealership because I was like, I think it would be pretty easy for them to suck me into this half car, half pickup truck thing because it's still good on fuel and it's like for going to soccer, but it kind of looks like a pickup truck. And they already have my fucked up Veloster. So the chances of me maybe buying this other car off them would be high. But no one even spoke to me because I had to go get the 407 because now, on top of everything else I have going on, when I get on the 407, I have to remember to hold the transponder up to the fucking windshield. And then when I'm getting off, I have to hold it up again because it won't beep. And then the rental company's going to charge me for the fucking 407. I'm like, this is an epic pain in the ass. Can you please ship the brake lines from Korea so I can get my fucking car back? Oh,
Uh,
so while all this is going on, the one of the main hydraulic cylinders on Cody's truck was leaking. This is like now going on. This story has been going on like 3.5 weeks now. So this cylinder's been leaking for like a year. We knew we had to fix it, but obviously it's a big job to like fish this huge cylinder out from under the lift. So Cody was on holidays for 10 days. So the truck went in and got certified, came back. Brad fished the cylinder out, sent it away to get repacked, repaired, do whatever the fuck they got to do to it. They told him it's repaired. He brought the cylinder back. This is like a whole operation for him to get this huge cylinder back into this fucking boom. Fishes it back in, turns on the truck, and the cylinder leaks twice as bad as it did the first time.
ah, I would have been twice as mad as I was the first
I
time I
don't
pulled it
really
out.
even get that. I'm more mad about it now because I'm talking about it than I was when it happened. So then Brad fishes the cylinder back out of the fucking truck, takes it down to them, and then they say, well, it needs to be re-chromed. That's why it's leaking. Okay, well, you're the hydraulic fucking cylinder people. It was leaking. Why didn't you just say it needs to be re-chromed?
Yeah.
Now that I'm fairly confident Brad didn't walk in there and be like, don't you motherfuckers re-chrome this cylinder no matter what. I think he said, stop the fucking cylinder from leaking, hydraulic people, so I can put it back on the fucking truck. So now, 3 weeks later, the cylinder is supposed to come tomorrow and go back on the truck. But
Hmm.
during this time when this was happening, a sensor broke on the other truck. So the hook wouldn't go backwards. So then we were
Oh
down,
no.
then we were down to zero hook trucks for a couple of days. So we bought one, it broke down, it fucked up our business. So we bought a second one to make sure that we would always have one on the road and we could keep two on the road. And then it broke down. So now we have no hook trucks.
Maybe it's
Well,
you who wants to buy my hook truck and not your friend.
no, it's not me. I looked at it,
I I have one hook truck and it works.
but you never use it.
You're right. I never use it.
So
I
how
moved
could
the
it
bin.
break?
Well, it still works, is the thing.
It does work.
No, we moved a bin around the yard a couple times. And
So,
go ahead.
oh, no, okay, good. So I
E-
made the decision. Go ahead.
Every time we dump the bin truck at the dump, we rip a mud flap off the back.
How
And
much
it
do
fuck
you?
probably a couple $100 in mud flaps, like because it'll fuck up the whole what's that, the wheel well thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're a couple $100 deep in that, fixing those up. We just got, and it's not my own fault. I'm just like, just do it. It'll be fine this time. Then he comes back with the fucking whole mud flap in pieces and ripped off the
Yeah.
fender. And so, okay, you're right. So,
So I went because I thought, fuck it. We do a lot of bins. We do a lot of bin business. We have a 2006 and a 2009 truck, which apparently we can't keep two on the road at the same time. So maybe it's time that we say fuck it and just buy a new truck. And so the Atlas Polar people had a tandem Mac.
a Mac.
Well, that's what there was available, and it was a tandem. So he said, "We have a tandem Mac." I said, "Perfect, because I need a tandem. I need a tandem truck because my bins are short; they're only 15 feet, so I can't buy a triaxle truck. I need this truck." He said, "Come and look at it." I said, "Great."
Auto? Automatic?
It was LP3 automatic Allison 6. So it had the
Hmm,
smaller Mac motor, but it had the Allison 6. So I
nice.
go there, I get there, and the truck is a tandem, but it's just as the frame of it is just as long as a triaxle.
Oh.
So I'm like, bro, this truck is still useless to me, except now I'm in fucking Toronto looking at it. And he said,
Didn't you
well,
ask him to send a picture first?
no, because it was
No.
a tandem. I mean, I am partially responsible for this situation for sure. And then he says, well, we could just shorten the truck up. I said, this truck is 300 grand. I don't want one that's been cut in half.
Yeah.
It's $300,000 for this truck. We are not, and I'm
Cutting a
sure,
new truck.
I'm confident these people could effectively do this job of shortening the frame and stuff. But the thought of having a truck that was worth 300 grand that someone had cut in half and shortened just made me feel a little bit ill. So I
Yeah.
said, I'm not doing it. So
Yeah.
I said, when can I get a truck if I send you the specs? He said, I know for a fact, if you ordered it today, you could have it by fourth quarter. I was like, well, it seems pretty reasonable, actually. Like, and then he added 2024.
Oh,
Whoa.
I was like,
That long, eh?
that's when I concluded we will just try to keep our two old bin trucks on the road.
Hmm. Wow,
We
that
will
long.
not.
that's wild.
Because I was thinking of one too. I said, we'll sell all the old shit. Sell three of the old trucks, get a new one, set it to work. But
What, the bin truck and the tandem?
I would sell the bin truck, the water truck, and maybe the donkey, which is our big 5 ton.
But don't you need another truck?
Yep. But the bin truck and the water truck could be one truck. There's no reason that we have to have two trucks to do that and it would actually be better if we had a tandem water truck as opposed to our single axle water truck. But
What was your initial thought when you bought the hook?
that I'd be able to put my machines in it and go to site and drop the bin and everything would be there and we get ready to roll. But it turns out it's just so like the truck is so long. It's a triaxle, right? And you pull it onto the little residential streets and there's trees above you so you can't drop the bin and I don't know. It's just an inconvenience. It's just so big. It's big.
So this is one of the reasons why 'cause I've been debating now, should we just switch our trucks and bins and everything to triaxles and bigger bins?
Yeah.
Like fuck
That's
it, we'll sell everything we have and we'll buy two brand new triaxle trucks and we'll buy a bunch of bins to go with it. Fuck it. But
if
then
you yeah.
in order to put those bins down, you need 50 feet,
Yeah, you need a lot of room.
more than 50 feet.
That's big.
Because
Can you put
the bins are 20 feet long, and then there's the truck frame's 20 feet long plus the cab. So yeah, probably 50 feet you need to put. And I'm like, you can't get the like one of the things about like Cody's little tandem truck is she can get it in and out of driveways, and the
yeah,
bins are only 15 feet, so they fit in driveways
yeah,
or they fit in the curb. They like I just it seemed like a huge hassle, is exactly what you're saying. So I was like, fuck it.
yeah. It's like our bin is 18 feet long and the way like it's high whenever you pick it up and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
a really big system. It's too big for the tandem that it's on now, right? Like because it used to be a triaxle.
Yeah.
So
You need to spiff it.
spiff it. But yeah, but who's gonna spend $20,000 to spiff a 24-year-old truck? Mind
Someone.
you, it runs great, you know. Somebody might, but having
What's
a
my
hard time selling it as it is. So
how much did you pay for?
I paid 50 and I put 25 in, maybe closer to 30 in. So like I know I'll probably take a loss on it to get rid of it, but we only use it to run our garbage right now, right?
Do you
Other
think
than
that's
that,
an effective use of your $70,000?
no,
Mike,
no.
you wanna enter those numbers into the program, please?
See what that is.
But I love looking at it at the yard every day. So that's got to be
That's worth
Well,
something.
Or something, right?
Yeah.
It's
we got our flat deck today,
uh
so that was exciting. Although it's the flat deck garbage bin combination, and it came with all the garbage in it.
no, like
So
someone else's garbage.
yeah, well, the person we bought the flat deck off, it's his garbage. I hope. Maybe it isn't. I don't know whose garbage. But Cody was supposed to took it to the garbage dump. But the bin's been sitting so long that how you open the bin was so rusty. She couldn't get the fucking bin open.
No.
I'm like, I don't even want the bin part of the flatbed. Once we get the garbage out, I'm gonna rip the bin part out of it, take it to the steel recycler, and get the fuck rid of it. I don't even want that part of it. I just want the flat deck so we can pick up pavers and machines and do all that kind of shit. It's my only goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Did you get any responses to our question, Mike?
Yeah, actually, we've got a lot of housekeeping actually to do right now. Is this
Housekeeping.
Mike,
some
do the housekeeping.
All right. I'm not prepared for this.
Here's a Nancy Green problem.
All right.
This is the text. I'm going to read you this text message conversation because this is what I deal with on a daily basis.
Is this a new segment?
Sure.
Fancy Nancy problem.
This is the this is the fancy Nancy text message chain. Would you deliver a yard of mulch to Claremont, or is it worthwhile?
Oh.
My response: when? Doing the work on Saturday, but it could be dropped on Friday. What's the address? Address for what? That's the response. This is would you deliver a yard of mulch to Claremont, or is it worthwhile for you? When? I'm doing the work on Saturday, but it could be dropped Friday. What's the address? Address for what? The fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna text. You want me to just dump a yard of mulch in a random place in Claremont? What, you're gonna fucking wheelbarrow from the middle of the town?
Oh, Nancy.
That is.
Was it for her personal house? Is that why? Like,
No, she's doing she does garden renovations on the weekends.
oh, as if the landscape designer isn't busy enough.
I think that's her favorite part of it.
Really?
Yeah, I think she just loves doing little garden renovations.
Good. That's a nice little gig.
There's a lot of garden renovations if you know about gardening and plants.
Yeah. I just fake it.
So I just sent back a text saying the mulch. No response. No response from Nancy.
No response from Nancy.
All right, Mike, let's do some housekeeping while we wait for Nancy's response with the address.
All right. We did get another 5-star review. Thank you so much, Rideau Valley. This
Rideau Valley?
Yeah. This one says, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that right? Rideau?
Rideau. I'd assume it's Rideau Valley, sort of near Ottawa.
Yeah, that makes sense. This show is the best remedy for a stressful week running a landscape design build company. The stories never disappoint. Mike, PK, and Chad have a fantastic on-air banter that is respectful but funny as hell. Keep the stories coming.
Love it. That makes my day.
That makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
We've got all nothing but 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts. So thank you so much for everybody that's left a rating and review there. Yeah. The reviews help.
Perfect.
Now we've had a couple of people actually just message us topics to talk about. So you guys want to talk about a couple different topics that have come up?
Yes. Fuck yeah.
So which is really cool because usually we have to prompt people for the questions and for like thoughts, but people have been messaging us, which is really cool. So thank you if you take the time to do that. We've got Twin Bay Landscaping. Discussion for you guys. The zombie apocalypse breaks out tomorrow. You can wield 2 landscape tools only. What are you choosing, excluding large machinery?
So this is hand tools only?
Well, I'm sure like a quick cut would kind of fall into that.
I wouldn't wield that though, because during the zombie apocalypse, people are gonna run out of gas.
What if it's battery powered?
Well, that's even worse.
I think it's even worse.
Oh, I said you
You think this
you
is
think the electrical grid's going to go down too?
this is an interesting topic that I thought about a lot when people thought that vaccines were going to kill everyone, and that could have been true. I'm not here to debate whether vaccines will kill everyone or not, but I did get vaccinated because I didn't want to be part of the 10% of the people who didn't and lived. Because I don't want to live in a world, because the people running the power plant probably got vaccinated and they're all dead. And the
They were
10% of the,
probably forced to get vaccinated.
oh, okay, and they're all dead though.
And they're all dead there.
So the 10% of the people that lived, I don't think they know how to run the power plant or make the cell phone network work. Or I don't want to be those, I don't want to be alive with those 10%. I am not someone who forages in the forest for food. I am not going to kill a bear and then fucking eat it. If I was part of the 10% that survived, I would slowly starve to death and it would be fucking horrible. I would be cold and wet and starving because I am useless if there's no gas and no electricity. So anyway, this is a different tire. Anyway, so I got vaccinated, hoping that if everyone died, I would die along with them.
Noble of you.
Well, no, I think it's just a unique take on the whole.
Very unique. I haven't heard anybody come up with that for a reason to get
You
vaccinated.
don't think it's true?
I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it took
You
the
think-
mind of the Paver King to think of that.
You
one.
think that if 90% of the people are dead, you're going to go get a frozen hamburger from fucking Sobeys and cook it up on your natural gas barbecue? That shit is not happening, bro. You're going to be eating poisonous berries from the forest.
This is not a paid endorsement by Sobeys.
No. So I would, for that reason, I would go pick. I feel like a pick is a good weapon to wield. You can do a lot of shit with a pick. That's my first choice. And I honestly, I believe that the thing that I handle the best in my life is a shovel. I'm a hell of a shoveler. I mean, I know how to fucking, I'd spend a lot of my life shoveling. I would wield a shovel and a pick.
Pick is a good call.
Yeah.
I would go with like a breaker bar.
Mm.
One of those long
That's
ones.
heavy.
Yeah, but if you connect,
But you got reach
yeah.
though too.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Like that.
That's it. You got one more hand.
I know. I'm still trying to think of that. Chad, what do you got?
I want my 5-pound snap-on dead blow hammer.
Ooh.
Because like
You got to get tight. You got to get close to them though for that.
I love that thing. No, you haven't heard my second choice.
Oh, okay.
Remember those wall bars with the chain attached to them?
Yeah.
Oh.
The nunchucks. I feel like those are made specifically for the zombie apocalypse.
Specifically.
That is a tremendous choice.
That's
Wow.
that's my pair of weapons, I suppose.
You're
Yeah.
left, Mike.
Man, that's a good one. My mind went right to the quick cut, but since you guys talked about fuel, I guess I can't go with that. We'll say the breaker bar, and we'll say PK, you took a shovel?
I took a shovel.
You took a shovel, eh?
I think a hard tooth rake could be a vicious weapon.
Yeah, it could be, especially if you sharpen the points of the rake. The rake was my next one. I'm probably gonna have to stick with the rake for now, just so I don't take the shovel.
Not a fan rake.
A leaf rake.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a great question. I like that.
Like that one, yeah.
The creativity of that one. I did post. Have you guys ever played Never Have I Ever?
Yes.
I posted one of those, and we got some really good ones. But that might be another day one because there's a lot of really good ones in there. One more talking point one here. Been wanting to make my point on a few things you've talked about, but I'm lazy when it comes to social media.
Both you guys with the allergies, eh?
PK made me sick. Why?
Good thing he
Okay.
got vaccinated.
Hey, I'm just trying to die with the rest of the group.
Let's see.
When people say to you, if all your friends were jumping off a cliff, would you? I was like, oh fuck yeah, I would. Let's all go.
Let's all go.
Let's all jump off the cliff. Loyal to a
Uh,
fault.
okay, one thing you guys said on the last show about natural stone has me thinking. So I think
Mm.
he's referring to the tie. I think the last episode that came out, which we recorded 3 weeks ago, me saying that I want to start incorporating more natural stone. He says, "Why do a lot of contractors want to get in and out of projects so fast? I like big, complex projects because people will pay for it, because not everyone can or wants to try to do it. I rather do a million a year from 10 projects over a million a year from 50 projects. Less customers to have to keep happy, less stress. For me, having to find less customers, lots of less emails too. Thoughts?"
I think all those points are valid and good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that if you fuck up that price, you're toast.
Yeah.
If you're doing $1 million and you're doing it in 20 projects and you fuck up a price, you're not toast.
Yeah.
If you're doing $1 million and you're doing it in 8 to 10 projects, you could toast yourself pretty bad and spend a good portion of your season, a tenth of your season, making no money. That's the only thing I would say that is a. I also hate ultra complicated shit with tons of people because I'm old. Like, I get why some people love it, and I think it's okay. I'm old. I did it. I've done like crazily complex projects. I'm good. I mean, if someone brought us one and it was interesting, I would still obviously price it, but I wouldn't go searching for it.
Yeah, I think this just comes back to the way you want to build your business, right? And there's no right answer. You just have to choose the one. But I do like lots of projects when you're first starting out because you've got a higher chance to grow your word of mouth from that. So the more people you touch, and hopefully you've got good service, the more word of mouth is going to start to grow for your business. That being said, those smaller projects, you'll likely get more of those same clients, anyways. So if you're hoping to make the transition to larger projects, you'll still have that transition period where it'll be a little bit longer, anyways.
I think that's a really good point about getting more word of mouth. I never really thought about that. It's a good point. One of the things that I did with the bunch of pavers from some other job that are in a backyard, I I saw those homeowners on Saturday morning, and by Saturday night we had a quote to them, and they emailed us back and said they're like 99% positive they're going ahead,
Nice.
and that taught me the lesson I already knew about the sales cycle of getting back to people quickly.
Speed.
Well, I did learn. Anyways, I used to love big complex projects, but I also feel like sometimes there's so many little things that happen. There's no way you can accurately bill for it. But if that's what you love doing, then why wouldn't you do it? Chad loves having a
Yeah.
$70,000 hook truck to take his garbage to the dump.
Yeah.
It's
You're
having
right.
it's having no negative effect on your life.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
not have it?
Why not have it?
Why are you doing a Cummins swap into your Ford truck?
Because a Coyote swap is $15,000.
And how much is a Cummins swap?
Like 8?
What? That's it?
Yeah.
I thought the motor would have been worth it.
No, like a 12 valve Cummins?
What's the
Yeah.
motor worth?
I don't know, 3, 4, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the
Yeah.
motor would be worth way more.
Yeah, me too. But apparently not. Even like a rebuild, to get a rebuild. I don't know. We're gonna put a Cummins in it. I have
Oh,
3 other Cummins, and I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. I was just asking you
Yeah.
why you picked. I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
What three other Cummins do you have?
My big Ford, the 750 has a Cummins. My Ram has a Cummins, and my international tandem has a Cummins.
Nice.
So
Oh, I
they've
thought it was a
all
cool. I
been
thought it
great.
was a cool idea. I just was wondering why you arrived at that.
No, like I always liked the idea of doing it, but I didn't think it was an option until the Coyote was ridiculously priced. So
How long have you had that truck?
3 years, but
Nice.
it like so I bought it for 10. It was appraised at 18. We brought it to the shop. Now it's worth absolutely nothing because it's in a million pieces. But we're gonna rebuild it, and it'll be like a sort of like a show work truck, I think.
Nice. Why did you take it apart?
Because I hated the interior, the motor, like it's a carbureted motor. I want something that I can just turn the key and go, you know. So, and we were putting a lift on it and all this other stuff and just making it the
Oh,
way I wanted.
is it a 4x4?
No, it's a 2x4 or 4x2.
Ooh.
So what is it? It's a two-wheel drive truck.
Yeah.
But
Uh, Chad, we didn't get your thoughts on that whole
no,
spiel.
I get bored with big ones. I need like I have an attention point where it drops off after like a month or a month and a half, where I feel like the quality just takes a slight bend down, and we're just trying to get things done after a point. Like I know it's terrible to say, but I am being honest. I would just prefer to move on to something else after about a month. And I think it's true. Like if you shit the bed on your price for a month-long job, it's not the complete end of the world because you can mitigate that with the other 5 or 10 jobs that you have coming up. But if you have too many of these big jobs, um, it's hard to make your money back. And I'm not a huge fan of doing extras while we're there. So like I don't feel like I want to make it up in extras and stuff like that. So
Yes.
like I always feel sleazy upselling. I know it's sales. I mean, it's part of doing it, but I can't. I feel like I got to give them a deal because I'm already there. So
Right.
that's just me. But
So
at the same
you're
time, I do commercial jobs where I'm out for 2 or 3 months at a time, right? So
yeah.
Both of our residential jobs we just finished both had a lot of extras.
Mm.
And I have the same. I think it's because an extra is so singular. Like if you're building a job and in the initial quote, someone says something to you like, lift and relay that area around the pool, right? Whatever. And you look at it and you go, that's worth $2,500 to lift and relay that area around the pool. And it's in the first quote, but it's not a separate line item. It's just in the quote of $40,000 to do the back. I think people are like, oh, great. And they associate their own, when you quote something as $40,000, people assign their own value to each item. And a value that someone in there, someone might assign, let's talk about like a column. Someone might assign a value of, oh, that column was worth $1,000. But in the scope of your 40 grand, you actually price that column at $4,000 for whatever reasons. But then they ask you for the next column. I want another column. And you're like, oh, well, the columns are $4,000. But in their mind, they're like, well, the columns were $1,000, and now you're fucking. I think that's where I get
yeah,
nervous with that kind of stuff. Is that I'm almost like getting my quote out to say, well, here's how I priced the first column. I priced it at 4 fucking grand. I'm sorry that now you want a second column. You thought the columns were only worth 1,000, but you thought that the stairs were worth 10,000 and the stairs are really worth five and all the money's in the fucking column. Like it's hard. I think that's for me
yeah,
the mental part of breaking through the extras thing because you're just pricing this one singular solitary item that has no. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like that problem I had last year with the client that we were doing a patio and then they wanted steps and then they didn't want a step and then they wanted pergola posts and then they didn't want pergola posts. So they're trying to like price out each thing individually. Yeah, it's a pain.
Even with nowadays, even with pavers, like say someone says, like if you price everything as a bulk, people don't really know how much the pavers cost. If you give them a price of 50 grand and the pavers are just incorporated into the 50 grand. But then they ask you for 100 square foot extension. And I'm not, don't anyone use this as their pricing, please. And don't call me and say you shouldn't price by the square foot or send me some fucking ridiculous amount of DMs when I say this. But if they want 100 square feet and you go, well, that's $3,500. And they go, oh, what, you charge me $35 a square foot for this whole thing? What the fuck is going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, because all of a sudden now they have an actual signed price for it. And
Right.
it might seem unreasonable to them. I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
If someone asks me for an extra 100 square feet of pavers, I try to mix some other bullshit in with it so they can assign some stupid value to that.
Yeah.
It makes them feel better. I'll be like, oh, well, let's put in this fucking sand cherry as well. And then I'll be like,
Sand cherry.
this the 100 square feet is worth 3,500, but you're also getting the sand cherry. Like, I fucking love sand cherries.
$25
Go for it.
sand cherry.
You don't think that works? That works, man.
Well, hey, I'm not doubting it.
Next
You've been
time you
around
get
longer than me.
saying next time you get jammed up, throw a sand cherry in the mix.
Fucking sand cherry. I haven't planted a
People-
sand cherry in fucking 8 years.
People fucking love them.
No.
Sand cherries are fucking beautiful, man. People love the fucking.
No, they're stringy.
They get stringy if you don't prune them and take care of them. Sand cherries are beautiful.
You plant a sand cherry when you don't know what else to plant.
Nancy texts me back the address, so now she's getting her mulch on Friday.
Throw in a free sand cherry if they're delivering.
Buried in the mulch.
Buried in the mulch. Next up, Mike.
That's all I got. Unless we want to get into, I think we're getting close to the end here, so I'm not going to bring up the what's that game?
Never have I ever.
I never. Let's do that.
That's
let's
the
do
show
that
with
next
John
episode.
McEnroe.
I don't know what that is.
No, you never. It's a Netflix show.
Oh,
Never have I ever.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
About a
I
little
think we
Indian
should say
girl.
that. That little Indian cripple.
No, I'd never. Little Indian girl, not a little Indian cripple.
That's what you say that all the time with all kinds of other stuff, though.
Oh,
That crippled guy across the street that I got to cut his grass.
we got a new neighbor across our street named Barb. Her boyfriend is drunk all the time, and the police were there today. We were listening through the window. So
Why
my
don't you
wife's
just walk
afraid of
out
her.
on the? You should just walk out on the porch.
Yeah. It was kind of cold out. Just got out of the shower. So.
This guy walk out there for your glory.
No, there was 2 police car and a cab, and there was some yelling. Anyway, my neighborhood.
It takes a whole neighborhood to get the world go round.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
it.
are we good with this?
I think we're good.
All right. This is the end of the episode.